Hi everyone, let's look at this task 1. The graph below gives information about the number of people who smoked cigarettes in the UK between 2011 and 2021. You can pause the video and you can look at the picture. It's a trend, it's a line graph, and it's an overtime essay. So the essay was written by Adkhamjon. And now let's check the essay. The given graph illustrates the number of cigarette smokers in the UK. I think there is a problem. So instead of how many cigarette smokers, so after saying how many, you should use subject and verb, but you said how many is the number of cigarette smokers in the UK. So instead of this, I'm going to change it to a very natural version and correct version. You had a grammar error here. How many people, how many men and women had a smoking habit, you could say, to make it very natural. So the given graph illustrates how many men and women had a smoking habit in the UK. So look at the question. The question says between and if the question says between and, yeah, you can repeat it, but my recommendation is change between to between and can be replaced by from to, actually. So that would be much better. I'm just improving your paraphrasing. So from to would be better instead of repeating between and again. Which divided by gender. Here we said men and women, that's why now no need to write this one. From an overall perspective, it's clear that the figure for both females and males experienced a downward trend in cigarette smoking consumption. I think that's a bit strange. Cigarette smoking. I think consumption is, you should use one of them. You should say either cigarette smoking or cigarette consumption. So that's why I'm going to omit this one. So in cigarette smoking, with men consistently staying higher than women. So higher than women it should be. So let's look. The figure for both females and males experienced a downward trend in cigarette smoking, with men consistently staying higher. Instead of men, if you said the former, that would be much better. With the former, consistently and stayed higher is, I don't think it should be stayed higher. Staying higher it should be, because you said with the former consistently staying higher than the latter throughout the 10-year. If you can look, you wrote one sentence for overview, which is unclear, a bit unclear. That's why you can split this into two simple sentences, but very clear sentences. That's why my recommendation is work on clarity. You should work on clarity. With the former consistently staying higher than the latter would be better, instead of repeating it again. And here, the reason why I marked it is because men consistently staying higher would be strange, because men cannot stay. The figure for men can stay. That's why if you say the former, it probably refers to the figure 4. And here, the figure 4 both. You are talking about two genders, that's why the figures 4 it should be. If you say the former letter, that would refer to the figures in this situation, and it would be correct. So pay attention to clarity. And the figure for male smokers. Okay, 1 second, one more time. Experience a downward trend consistently. So pay attention to the graph. When it comes to males, decrease, increase, decrease, increase, decrease. When it comes to the figure for females, decrease, increase. So generally, they experience downward trend. Yeah. Let's make it. Okay. I didn't touch this part. This is enough for your overview. But the main point was, yeah, they experienced downward trend. But the main point was they experienced mild fluctuations. Both of them experienced mild fluctuations. So you didn't talk about the main piece of information in your overview. So consider this the next time you write an essay. The figure for male smokers originally stood at approximately 4 million in 2011. Okay? After which it experienced a noticeable decline to around 2.5 million. Maybe you wanted to say by here. By 2013, before leveling off until 2017. I think, let's see. No need to write this one. Leveling off. Double F, it should be level off. So, by 2013, before leveling off until 2017, experienced a noticeable decline to around, you are talking about 2013, 2.5 million before leveling off. Look, did it level off exactly? Is it leveling off like between 2013 and 2021? Is it, or 2020? Let's consider this. Is it leveling off? Okay, 17 you talked about. This is not leveling off. So that's why saying level off would be a big mistake here. This was followed by a modest rise. You are talking about this rise, 2019, I guess. But then it experienced a significant fall. And it should be, okay, I'm not gonna mark it. And not and. I think you wanted to say at. So I'm not gonna mark it, okay? This one, 1.5 million by the end of the period. So what you wrote here, pay attention to this part. What you wrote here, almost all of them, this part, you could just say fluctuated mildly, reaching about 2.8 million in 2019. You could say after that it experienced a significant drop. But you said like level off, which is completely wrong, and then rise and then fall, right? So this sentence could be explained in a shorter way and in a more natural way by using the word fluctuate only. So that's why pay attention to this and improve your clarity. Fluctuate or fluctuation. Fluctuation. You can say, yeah, this would be enough. Fluctuate, fluctuation. You should use this. Take it into consideration. The number of female smokers, it should be. was initially 3.8 million, which was slightly lower than, it should be not then, but then. Then the male figure. You said the number of female smokers was initially 3.8 million, which was slightly lower than, you said the number of, that's why instead of the male figure, you could simply say that of males. So that would be much better. Compare it to your original version. That would be natural. Is it correct? Which was slightly lower. Yeah, this is correct. It decreases noticeably to about 1.2 million between 2011 and 2013. And then relatively remained not this should be relocated, like remained relatively stable until 2016. The figure for women, okay, in addition, the number of females, this is a bit unclear, to be honest. Pay attention to your origins. The figure for women is the number of female smokers. You are talking about this, the figure for women. The number of female smokers showed a steady downward trend from, as you said, a steady downward trend between 11 and, is it a downward trend? It's a fluctuation, that's why I'm gonna mark it. So it decreases your coherence and cohesion. So you should pay attention to clarity. Look at your essay and do not do not make the same mistakes again and again. Learn from your mistakes, and the next time trying to avoid making these mistakes. So you forgot writing about these fluctuations. This is your main point. In your overview part also, you did not include this mild fluctuations. And here also, the second part of your body paragraph, here you said level off, big mistake, and here rise, a fall, rise, a fall. Here also, you said downward trend. And you did not specifically mention them. Apart from that, you have so many grammar problems, and improve your vocabulary, also improve your grammar. Do not make the same mistakes again. So yeah, you can do it, and I will tell you the score later. So thanks for watching. You can guess the score in the comments. Yeah, that's all about your essay. First, you have to omit these mistakes, and after that I will tell you the other weaknesses too. So I want to say bye bye.